them say. There's no telling where the guys will take you. Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already warned you. Better watch out, it's gonna ruin the plot. Real spoilers. Real spoilers. Real spoilers.
Broadcasting from the lush but not lavish studios located in the basement of the O'Keefe Institute for Advanced Film Snarkitude, this is Real Spoilers.
You got it. Whew.
Episode 888.
A milestone.
A milestone.
Milestone.
It's a double milestone.
No.
Oh,
'Cause
it
it's-
is.
It is.
your birthday.
Once a year.
Once a year.
Happy birthday.
It's wild. We've been doing this since 2013, and we've never done this on somebody's birthday.
No. We usually, I guess, maybe we all take off on our birthdays.
I don't know.
Well, we tend to do it on Sundays. We're not
Correct.
this time.
No.
If it was a normal week, we would not be doing it on your birthday
That's true.
either.
Right.
I didn't say Project Our Father. So I have to go out of town this weekend, and I don't have to. I get to.
Yeah, it's a luxury, not a demand.
And so the studio was kind enough to do a bunch of early screenings so we could check it out. 'Cause
Yes.
we're very important.
It was just us.
Yeah, they wanted to
Nobody-
make sure that we saw the film. so we could
The most
discuss it.
popular, biggest movie podcast in St. Louis.
Correct.
Yes.
Ryan Gosling sat on my left. Joe was on my right.
That's right.
Tom was in the bathroom.
We were hoping for Mila to maybe make an appearance. She did not, unfortunately.
But yeah, so we are recording early. So that also means we don't have any show sharers to
Correct.
share. So because they haven't
Or reviews or comments.
yeah, it hasn't happened yet. So let's go around the table and everyone can introduce themselves.
This is Joe.
This is Kevin.
And this is Tom. So quick shameless plugs. Don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you find a podcast. You can find us while you're there. Be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. Maybe leave us a review. Super helpful. Greatly appreciated.
It just makes us feel good.
it does. Don't you want to make us feel good?
Yeah, that'd be
Like,
nice.
Not in a dirty way, but like
It's nice. Like someone's listening.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's good to
They
know.
like us.
Good to know.
And you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Real Spoilers. While you're there, like the page, join the group. If you shared it, reminders of him. Joke's on you.
Brad Hyan.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Brad
he's-
Hyan's
yeah.
the only show sharer this week. The Brad Hyan rule finally pays off.
Binge movies may have done it. I don't know.
Yeah, and the joke is he probably won't listen to this, and so he'll
That's
never
true.
know. He'll never know.
He'll never know.
What if you share an episode like 4 years later? Is there any kind of like retroactive?
No, I
rule?
mean,
Like,
Tom's got to go back to
Yeah.
episode
You
4
don't
years
check
ago.
every
You're
episode.
lucky I
every...
go back a week.
I was just curious if we get an alert that someone shared
No.
whatever, the Lone
It's not like-
Ranger.
It's not
That
like
would be
it's not like Ghostbusters.
if I saw a notification pop up that somebody shared the Lone Ranger episode from
you-
2013.
Would you shout it out?
I would, yes, because that is crazy
That'd be
pants.
amazing.
Great, now like 40 people are going to share that.
Disneyland Matt's finally back from his like time
Yeah,
travel. He's like, I have to share them all.
Also, what you can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Real Spoilers. $5 a month. You get all sorts of bonus content. We like you extra. And then, of course, watch all of these over at the YouTubes. So there's all that. Let's dig into Project Hail Mary.
I think it would be easier because this movie is not told chronologically.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I think it would be easier if we just say scientists have found that there is this amoeba or something that is drawing the power away from the sun, and they're going to Venus, and it's killing the sun basically.
Right.
Well, it's killing all stars.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
but
like
we're-
a star eater.
Yes, but we are focused on the sun because that's the one that's important to us.
That's our star.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Our
our
and
little
so, Ryan Gosling is this,
So they
teacher.
found there's one star
Yes, that is safe,
not dying.
and they can't
And they
figure out
want to know
why.
what is the deal, so they need to check
So
it out.
What's the deal with this star?
What is the deal with this star? So you've got these two stories of leading up to the launch to go to this star, and then you've got Ryan Gosling already on the ship trying to figure this out.
It's Best Defense.
What? What's that?
The Eddie Murphy Dudley Moore movie.
You have lost me.
It's
at that.
Best Defense. So Best Defense is like Eddie Murphy's first flop.
Okay.
But the premise of the movie is Dudley Moore is a tank designer, right? And he's trying to push this high-tech tank through the system, and it's all you're seeing all the things that corporate America and Congress are making him, like concessions he has to make in terms of making this thing safe or lethal in the ways you want a tank to be lethal.
Right.
And so you see him having this battle, and then it flashes forward in time, and you see Eddie Murphy in the tank,
Okay.
in battle, dealing with whether or not the things
All the
he's
cutbacks
fighting for came
You
to fruition or not.
To something.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's a clever idea for a movie. And it's actually, I think it was more of a retro fit to the movie because they made the movie with Dudley Moore because he was having a moment and then it was pretty bad. And then they
fixed it by putting in Eddie Murphy parts.
because Eddie Murphy like never interacts with Dudley Moore in the movie.
Okay.
Because he's in this whole other movie and they like had him film a bunch of stuff and like drop it in to make it an Eddie Murphy movie.
It is wild. I mean, they did that. Not they didn't do that with, but it's
Did
Superman.
the movie tank?
Yes. No pun intended.
But Superman
yes.
3 is that. Superman 3.
Yeah, they
It's
had
not really a Superman movie.
Right.
It's a Richard Pryor movie
Right.
with Superman in it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this guy's funny. Well,
Yeah.
throw him in there.
Yeah.
And maybe Christopher Reeve will show up.
Yeah.
And we'll get the most horrific villain creation scene I could ever think of as a child.
Yeah. But yeah, so like as I was watching this, I was like, this is kind of what the movie Best Defense did,
Yeah.
except nobody really remembers that movie because it was not very good.
Those are the remakes you got to get.
Because I remember Eddie Murphy hosting SNL after that, and I think it was before Beverly Hills Cop came out, and he was like, I was the biggest movie star in the world, and he's like, I did 48 Hours and Trading Places, and he's like, and then I made a movie called Best Defense. And everybody starts laughing. He's like, hey, man, I'm 22 years old. Somebody offered me $1 million for
Right.
4
I
weeks
took
worth.
it.
I took it.
Yeah, hell yeah, I took it. Absolutely. Speaking of SNL, I do think it's worth noting, is it safe to say that Ryan Gosling is the best SNL guest host in the last 10 years?
He's great.
He's pretty good.
He's pretty
we
good.
were talking about this in the last episode.
Yeah.
He's like, and I just watched the most recent one, and it is fantastic.
So I'm saying that's why I was just saying last episode.
He's
that
so good.
and he breaks on every skit, but like he's just so good that it doesn't matter. Like it's in an endearing way, right? Like
He just seems like a really good dude.
yes,
you know what? I'm only hesitant to say that because God forbid in 5 years,
But like we
something
said, seems.
comes out.
We don't know anything about
That's
his-
true.
We're
That's-
not saying that we are guaranteeing. He just seems like a really
He does.
good dude.
He also, I think he is one of those actors that can kind of work in any platform, any genre. He can slide right into it, and he can.
I was just thinking about Glenn Powell, and Glenn Powell hasn't quite found his movie yet, but he's charismatic as heck.
Yeah.
But I don't think that in the same way that Ryan Gosling probably can't play a villain or like a big tough guy, I think Glenn Powell kind of has that same problem where I don't think I would believe either of them as like the manly tough guy.
I think Glenn Powell.
He can
could
do
be
tough things, but he's not a tough guy.
Yes.
But I think he could be like a Billy Zabka. I think he could be like a jerk, kind of.
Glenn Powell?
Either one.
Well, see, because I just watched The Running Man,
Sure.
and I thought it was fun. It was very not Edgar Wright-ish for an Edgar Wright movie. There's really no Edgar Wright fingerprints on it. I enjoyed it. I was entertained. But Glenn Powell, whenever he tried to be tough and like bang his hand on things and get mad, I'm like, that's silly. He's just such
Girl,
a nice,
you crazy.
he's just a nice, charismatic guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't believe for 1 second he's a mean tough guy.
You know what I
and
mean?
I don't think
Isn't
Ryan
Gosling a tough guy in Drive?
but he's
Gosling
not,
is a tough guy.
No,
in
he's
Drive.
he's a kind of a badass because he's a driver, and yes, he has some anger things happen, but he's never like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just not.
Did you have
in
you
that
seen
like manly way that in Running Man Glenn Powell's trying to be?
Not
like,
in that like alpha male.
Yeah,
like,
I think
because he
that-
never talks in Drive. The driver doesn't talk.
Sometimes he does, but it's a
Okay,
very
but like
soft
the whole
monotone.
movie pretty much doesn't talk.
Yeah.
And Glenn Powell, all his performances are like, I'm really angry and I'm gonna beat you. And it's like,
I
that's
think
so
it's hard because that role, the Ben role in
Yeah.
Running Man, is so synonymous with a guy who was the epitome of like
masculinity
and alpha
and
male.
also, but also they got the tone completely wrong. The movie didn't know what it wanted to be. It was it had some really good points to make, but they took it too seriously. And then anytime they tried to do satire in it, it's like, well, that's not the tone of this movie at all.
And then kind of hedged their bets.
Yeah,
at the end.
they didn't.
We've
talked. You got to go all in. It should have been really, really silly, really goofy, B level, whatever, like the original, more silly. Or they should have tried to make it a serious movie, but it didn't know. And then again, it wasn't stylistic like Edgar Wright.
Sure.
It just, I don't know. It felt off to me, even though
that was
entertained.
fun.
It was fun, but I was like,
It wasn't what I was hoping.
yeah.
Where I think Gosling, I guess we've never really seen him. He is a villain in The Gray Man, but that was like, yeah. Oh no, he's the good guy.
No.
Chris Evans
Yeah.
is the villain in that. You're right.
Chris
you're right.
Evans we've seen play villain, and he can do it.
Chris Evans also is really good at the smarmy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. He has that where Ryan Gosling's too likable, and I think Glenn Powell's too likable. So he's very talented. The point is, I think Gosling is good in everything. I don't think there's ever a movie I've seen where I'm like, oh, he's just not. I mean, he's just always likable.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see Everybody Want Some?
Yeah, Glenn Powell's great.
Glenn Powell's in that.
Yeah.
Just
That's the first time that's linked later. It's like a spiritual sequel
the
to
theory is that
Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and
the
Confused,
kid
yeah.
we're following was supposed to be Mitch.
Okay.
Because he's a pitcher in college.
But I remember him in that, and I'm like, that guy's charismatic. Like that, you could just tell he was going to be.
Yeah, that's a
something.
good flick.
Yeah, it is good.
So this is, I mean, it's Lord and Miller who have, for the most part, obviously the two Spider-Verse movies, Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs, the 21 Jump Street stuff, have stuck to like action comedies. This is also written by Andy Weir, who was the author of The Martian. Who directed that? Do we remember?
Was that Ridley Scott?
Oh, maybe it was.
That sounds right. I think
maybe
it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
Where like The Martian, and we've talked about this with Andy Weir, like that was originally like a Substack or a blog or something where he would propose like
he was basically
issues.
it was a thought exercise.
Yeah.
You crash land on Mars. Can you stay alive?
Right.
What would you do? And people he would put his thoughts, and then the crowdsource would critique of like, well, that wouldn't work because of this on Mars.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then it got so popular, he turned it into a novel,
Right.
which then became a movie. Both are wonderful.
Yeah, both are pretty great.
And cannot recommend them highly enough. So,
But it's funny when this movie starts off, and I see all these math equations and how we do this. I'm like, is this guy's thing? Is Andy Weir only
That's
going
kind of
to
what
try
I
to
thought.
solve problems? Like, but you know when they start off, and I'm like, oh, that's his thing. Like we're always going to get stories.
Yeah,
about
that's his
how can you
shtick.
figure
Yeah.
that? You know, but yeah, I've never read the books of either of them. Blake was telling me how good they are, and
I haven't read Project Hail Mary because I honestly was like, well, it's like Daffy Duck drinking the gas and then
Right.
eating a match.
Once you see
it's
it.
a great trick, but you can only do it once. I didn't think he had another one in him.
Oh,
and so
okay.
now I want to read the book because this was wonderful.
It was.
This is
And
fantastic.
I heard the
Yeah.
book's so good that it does make me want to check it out. I heard they explore like a little bit more of the backstory of different characters and what's going on. Obviously,
Okay.
go into more detail. But yeah, this movie's so good. And the interesting thing is it's pretty much the Ryan Gosling show.
It is not pretty much. It is the Ryan Gosling
Other
show.
than the flashbacks, though, they flash back to, and it kind of helps the audience like not just watch one person talking to a rock the whole time.
I'm trying to think. What The Martian was like that, wasn't it? Like it was just him.
Pretty much Matt Damon.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no flashbacks.
It's not flashbacks, but there's a lot of him on Mars and then the people on Earth.
Oh, okay,
'Cause he
okay.
could still talk to people on Earth.
Yeah,
right?
because he wasn't as
I think
far
there
away.
was a delay.
There
but,
was, but it wasn't 11 years.
right, but here there's just no way.
Yeah,
it could
right,
work.
right.
But the point is that while it's mostly Ryan Gosling talking to a rock alien, it is so good, and it hinges on the actor. If you don't have an actor that's likable and that good, and he's so funny, but in like a human, like real, believable way, right? Like a naturally.
I wanted to talk. So we've talked about how comedies, they're not writing jokes anymore. Like everything is kind of based on situations, like a situational comedy.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a
They should
really
make a TV show that does that.
they should maybe,
Yeah.
or just a
But yeah, it's like character driven. It's like putting the characters in a room,
Yes.
and then letting that let the comedy happen organically. It's not just like
I think this is
waka
the
waka joke writing.
Yeah.
That is interesting how comedy isn't jokes anymore.
It's not jokes,
right? Like
It's all
that used to be when you watched like Mel Brooks and
It's very frustrating sometimes. Like if you tell a joke and like someone under 25 will be like, oh, it's a dad joke. I'm like, no, it's not.
Called a joke.
Like, it's a joke, but not every setup punchline is a dad joke.
I do wonder if that started with, this is a weird reference, with Dane Cook.
Yeah.
Where Dane Cook wasn't telling jokes.
Oh, he's telling stories.
He's telling
funny
stories. And like he
no.
was animated and
No.
but like that style
Bill
of comedy.
Cosby tells stories.
I guess that's true. I guess that's fair.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
But
not
I feel
anymore,
like even well, he
but-
might, and nobody's listening.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that, like, you know, obviously a lot of the comedians came out of vaudeville, and then you've got, like, you know, the Carl Reiners and the Mel Brooks and all that stuff, and George Burns and everything. But like then movies started just telling jokes, like stand-up comedians. Like there would be joke punchline,
Right.
set up punchline. But now comedy isn't that at all. They're not just doing stand-up and filming it in a movie. They're just putting them in funny situations. And,
Right.
Oh, I can't believe that happened. Or, oh, that's so relatable.
Well, even like you got guys like Tom Segura, who is a very successful stand-up comedian, but his show is like a sketch show. So I guess sketch comedy is kind of
He has a show?
it's on Netflix.
Oh. I didn't know that.
I guess sketch.
A lot of comedians have shows now.
Isn't that
don't they?
weird?
Yeah,
Like,
it is
yeah.
weird. I'm not saying they never had, obviously, with Seinfeld, but like
Shane Gillis, Tom Segura, Burt
Yeah.
Kreischer, like all those guys have
it just
shows
feels
on Netflix.
I don't know why it feels different for some reason. I guess it is stand-up comedian to show, but like with streaming platforms, they've given a lot of like podcaster comedians.
Well, what
shows.
did I tell you?
They're desperate for content.
Yeah.
What did I tell you
And-
Netflix was going to do?
And they want people who already have a following. But I think the
Podcasts.
evolution of what you're talking about, Kevin, I think that starts with the SNL crowd.
Yeah.
When they make their way into feature films, because a lot of the funniest moments were them riffing and bouncing off each other. They didn't just write a script and film it.
Yeah.
You know, some of the best moments in Ghostbusters are just those three
Let them
guys
go.
having a moment. Same with Stripes. But I think it's a combination of that and the technology getting lower priced.
Oh, sure.
Right? Like in that initially to do that you had to shoot on film. That's really expensive. And so you're
Better
not
have
going
a
to
tight script.
you're not just going to let anybody do it. So they'd let a Bill Murray get away with it. They'd let a Chevy Chase get
Robin
away with
Williams
it.
could-
Right.
yeah.
But like if you're an up and comer,
Right.
they're not going to let
No.
you do that.
if you're a 21-year-old
Not gonna
Eddie
just
Murphy,
roll on
right?
a-
Yeah.
Where
comedian,
like
yeah.
in today's world, like when you're shooting digitally, now you can afford to do a movie like
Anchorman.
Anchorman, 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
Right. And I think more like 40-year-old virgin because like with Anchorman, at least at that point, Will Ferrell is established.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
Adam McKay is established. They can kind of do what they want at that point.
But yeah, 4-year-old version was the
But 4-year-old
first
version,
big Apatow movie.
you got
yeah.
Judd Apatow, who's coming from TV.
Yeah.
Steve Carell.
He's putting a bunch of people in there from
all his TV
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
right? That don't have a proven box office track record yet, but you can let them go,
Yeah.
and just do their thing, and then pick the best moments, and then
Save
tighten-
the rest for a blooper reel.
right? And but if you're shooting on film, the studio is going to be like, well, you just took a $30 million movie and made it a $60 million.
That's a
movie.
very good point. That's a very good point.
But Gosling is incredible in this, and it's amazing. It's like what 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours and 36 minutes.
And it cruises.
It does.
It
Gosling
does.
is great. And we were talking about this online, but I
Yeah.
would not tell you what my complaint
No,
was.
what is
Gosling is also my biggest and only complaint with the movie.
Okay.
Now,
Well, you don't have a choice because there's
This-
only one thing.
this is an asterisk, and I am definitely quibbling.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
The premise we find out is that he's this guy who had a scientific theory that basically he got laughed out of the industry. And
Yeah,
now he's a
ba-
high school teacher.
I think it was that not all life requires water.
Yeah. And he's supposed to be this surly guy who doesn't want to be around anybody. He just wants to be left alone. And that is not what Ryan Gosling is playing in this movie.
Not at all.
Right? He is insanely likable. Mm-hmm. Like, right? And this guy wouldn't be insanely likable. Now, I definitely put an asterisk on that because if you want me to spend
Sure.
50 to 60% of a movie with just him on screen,
Yeah.
I don't want to see a movie starring that guy.
Did you
right?
think
so
he
like
was-
it's a concession to entertainment, and I'm okay with it. But I do feel like it's worth noting that like this is not what this guy would really be like.
Do you think he was supposed to be surly or just kind of like dejected?
like Yeah, and he just didn't want to be around anybody. He wouldn't have been this kind of fun, goofy guy.
I see.
Right? And,
sure.
In real life, he would have been some sad, lonely guy, probably on the spectrum,
right,
who didn't work well with others.
But he's kind of a goofball. I know what you mean, that he's not quite a loner, but like when the movie starts off and you see him in his class and, you know, he's teaching like middle schoolers and he's just being silly and like, hey, we're doing whatever. Like, you could tell he was definitely awkward. He was not.
I do love that. One of my favorite lines in the movie is when the kid asks him
real quick. He's awkward in a way that is endearing.
Yes.
Not awkward in a way that makes you want to cross the street.
Yeah, no, that's certainly, yeah. And I guess
like me.
Like you, just like you.
But you're right, though. I mean, yeah, to make this movie watchable for 2.5 hours of him talking to this alien.
We need Ryan Gosling movie star.
We do. And
don't be going all method on us and
I
making it
don't
weird.
need, what's the one where he's dating the mannequin?
Yeah.
Well, I don't need that Ryan Gosling.
Right.
Oh, Lars and the real girl.
Lars and the real girl,
yeah.
But so like there's a line here where one of the girls in the class is like, is the sun really dying? He's like, that's a question you need to ask your parents. And so like he doesn't want to answer, you know, these kids are asking legit questions like, is the sun dying? How much time do we have? And he's trying to get around it. And he realizes these kids are not going to let it go. So he lays it out for him and he's like, look, it's, you know, the chances of this happening are very slim. We've got top men working on it, which I thought was a funny line. You know, like it's a small to medium issue. And then they're like, but you know, they're siphoning off this amount of energy. We've got 30 years. So it's more like a medium to large issue. And he was like, yeah, that's probably true. Probably like that. So as all this is going on, he ends up getting picked up by some government agency. Don't really say who it is. I guess it is NASA, but it's not NASA. Like it's.
Well, I thought it was
I think NASA's doing the space stuff, but this is like
a worldwide.
This is like
agency.
The CIA, like being like, you work for us.
Correct. Yeah. And he was just kind of like, do I have to? And he's like, they're like, yes. So he is tasked with. They find Astro Phage, which is what they're calling the stream
according
of...
to Wikipedia, the whole world's governments appoint former European Space Agency Administrator Eva Stratt to lead a task force to solve their problems.
Okay.
So this is not the CIA. This is the entire world's task force.
You know what is a great line from her
That's
as well?
why they're all together with the countries.
Yeah, and I just say like the CIA, but
no.
But it's definitely like some like secret government agency that you're not allowed to say no to.
Correct. Correct. One of the lines, especially in the current climate we're in, where it's the end. It's sort of the end of the movie, but it's kind of the beginning of the movie for Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
She's like, look, crops are going to start dying. People are going to start dying. In theory, the world would work together and make sure all that. But she's like, but you and I both know that's not going to happen.
Sure.
And I was like, that is I mean, you know, especially
that's just human nature, though. But it rings true now. But that's forever. Though,
it is.
Right?
It's all
but it's way worse now.
It's very
correct,
very bad.
Correct. And if the Earth is ending, even faced with global collapse, people still won't work together.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yes, under past administrations,
maybe
either side.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, I think we'd come together. Now, no.
Not even close.
No. It would just be like, can I sell a T-shirt of it?
That's
I'm going to make it an NFT.
That's right. Yeah. So this gal basically says, look, you were onto something. I need your brain to figure out what the hell this thing is and how to stop it.
The fact that they allude to the idea that he's not the only one who was onto something, right?
Yes.
Like they're going down a lot of roads simultaneously.
Oh, I think they picked him on purpose.
Yeah.
Because he has nothing to lose.
But I mean, I think there's a lot of people that have other ideas that we will
sure
that will obviously end up not being right because they're not making the movie about them. But they definitely address the fact that like he had an idea that they want to explore, but there are lots of ideas that they're exploring simultaneously.
Doesn't she say that? She's like,
that's what I'm saying. I
said
like the fact that they did
You
that.
said it yourself. There are people out there that are smarter than you, and I'll just go find one of them.
I like the fact that it isn't like the world hinges on one person. Like it does end up, but like they're like, no, we're having the entire world work on this.
Right.
Because it's realistic, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to just put all
They
their eggs in one
didn't pick
basket.
the one loony idea that ended up being right. They picked like 50 loony ideas.
And this one started paying off.
Following the one that was right.
Yes,
Exactly.
That's exactly right. So he gets in there and he takes a look at it and he was like, all right, these things are alive. They're his reactions
They're forming
sometimes.
this thing called a Petrova line.
Well, the Petrova line is already formed. And that's
But the sun isn't dying, and they don't know why.
No, it is dying.
No,
Of
that's
this other planet.
they're going to study literally the one
yeah.
Petrova
Yes.
line where their sun is not dying, like
And they
all
can't
the other
figure out
ones.
why.
And so it's like someone's got to go do that. Problem: it's very, very far away. So they got to
Yes.
send a team of astronauts on a one-way mission.
Correct.
Now, at this point in the story, from the flashbacks we've gotten, he's just working on the project.
He literally has, he being Ryan Gosling, has no idea what he's doing. He's just trying to see what works. And I do love when he goes, whoops,
But
I killed it.
But at the beginning of the movie, he wakes up on this ship, like toward the
Yes.
beginning of the movie, and he acts like he doesn't know why he's there.
Correct.
It's like gets you scratching your head. I mean, it's a really intriguing movie because you're like, well, wait a minute, he doesn't even know why he's on this ship or doesn't remember anything. What the hell
Well,
is
I
going
think
on?
at one point not Hal, the computer, says you will experience muscle fatigue, memory loss, yada yada yada. So we already know that like he wakes up and he was like, what is, I will say there's a lot of 2001 in here, like in visuals.
Yeah.
Which I think is really interesting to see that through somebody else's lens. Like there's the scene when Ryan Gosling wakes up for the first time and he walks out to basically like when I cannot remember the name of that main character to save my life. Dave. I guess it is Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hello.
And he walks out and he looks through like the way like the glass is all like hexagons. I thought reminded, I don't know why invoked 2001, but he looks out and the way the camera pushes in on space, I thought was like, I'm like Phil Lord. And
this movie was all filmed in camera. There's no green screen.
which
no
I
green
think
screen.
is incredible.
Yeah, there's special.
Even
there's
the
there's
spaceships
CG,
look
but there's no
like-
green screen. They're all filmed in like dark stages and everything, which is incredible. And so think about 2001, all being filmed in camera. Right? You're getting practical effects.
Could you
Which
imagine?
is why it still looks so
it's
damn
incredible.
good.
Still looks
It's
incredible.
one of the most stunning movies.
It's still kind of boring.
It's very boring.
This is again where I know you
I'm
said
not
this
a-
about other movies.
I'm not a Kubrick guy. Like
I'm a Kubrick guy when it comes to The
Slow.
Shining.
I don't find it boring. It's a slow movie, a slow burn.
and it's not the most satisfying of endings.
It's a bummer
until
of an
you get to the
ending.
sequel. We're like, wait, what?
Yeah, but
What?
it is a beautiful movie.
Yes.
It is incredible looking.
And
To
I
this
think
day, you don't have to
It
make
is.
you don't have to make any apologies. Like, well, it was 1969. You gotta keep that
No,
in mind.
no.
Like, it's like no.
It looks, if you watch the 4K remastered, whatever, like it is stunning to see the
They
quality in which
put it
this
out
movie.
today.
Yes.
You'd be like, how'd they do that?
The
You can
spaceship they created and
Yep.
like the circular thing and
You mean like in this movie?
all the sets were practically like they made the whole thing obviously before CG.
You can see the argument that he filmed the moon landing because of 2001.
Oh, I mean, it looks
I
so
think that's
good.
where the came from.
You
right?
could absolutely see the argument. It didn't happen. The moon landing happened.
Oh,
Okay,
it
I was
didn't
like,
happen.
wait.
Oh,
No.
wait, wait. Yeah,
The
try
moon
to be
landing happened.
specific.
Which side are we taking?
He did not film it.
Funny
That's all I'm
enough,
saying.
this movie is footage from the moon landing.
The
So-
fake one or the real one?
Yeah,
Well,
which
I'll
one?
let you decide. I don't want to
Ooh.
spoil it for you. I'm not
the
moon
shadow,
landing
the
spoilers.
shadows are all wrong, or
Got to buy
whatever
the
they're-
steelbook to find
Yeah,
that.
that's right. That's right. So yeah, I think it's an incredibly great looking movie.
Oh, yeah.
and it's they film it very Alien, I think, is a very claustrophobic movie. This is very similar, where the ship isn't big. Like in retrospect of like how
No.
big we've seen
Kind of
spaceships
reminds me
before.
of Gravity, right?
It reminded me a lot of
looked like it
Gravity.
was
Yeah.
filmed on a real ship in space, right?
Yeah.
And that movie had a
So
lot of
was
practical
what was
effects.
the not Venom prequel? What was that
Oh god, that was Ryan.
with Jake Gyllenhaal and
was
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah. Oh god.
The hell was the name?
this-
And Rebecca Ferguson.
I did not like that movie.
I did like that movie,
I hated
but
that.
it was also like
I can't remember.
neither can I. Not
Sucks.
not the Venom prequel
Sucks.
that they thought everybody was when it gets to the end of that movie, you're like, oh
It
my
had
god,
life in the title.
It
didn't
is
it?
life.
Maybe
That
it's
is
just
the
called
title.
Life, yeah.
Okay.
And they thought it was gonna be. Was it Venom?
It was Venom
okay, it
because the
wasn't
end
Alien.
of the movie is like Jake Gyllenhaal in this craft surrounded by what looks like a symbiote.
Yeah.
And they were like, never mind.
No.
Gotcha.
Because was it Sony too?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really weird. I could see where the theories came into play.
So he's up there and he's like his memories are kind of, and that's where the flashbacks happen. To me, the flashbacks
trying to piece together how
are
he
his
got
memories coming back.
Yeah.
So we find out that the other 2 members of the crew have died. It is wild. The AT&T girl is in this movie.
That's the AT&T girl.
That's the AT&T
Oh,
girl.
is it?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
Okay.
Who was almost Squirrel Girl, and then that got canned.
Okay. She's like Russian in this movie, or is this a different character? Not the one that's on the ship with him.
Yeah, that's it.
Wasn't she Russian? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
she is Russian.
Okay, Oslea Olakina.
She's Russian, and she's rocking an American flag patch on her arm. At one point, I was like, "Well, that why would she do
realized
that?"
she was Russian. I mean, her name's Milena
Like Vander Trump or
Weintraub
something.
But okay.
She's not Russian. She's American. The character is Russian.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. That my whole point was that she was like Russian in this movie, and I didn't
Yes,
think she was.
she
Russian.
is.
She is an Uzbekistan-born American actress.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm glad to see
Jeez,
she's
you
getting
think
work.
all foreign people look the same?
Hey man,
Joe?
if they all look like her, that is all right. So he wakes up and he finds out that he's the only one alive, and he has no idea how he
Sitting in the
got there.
chair. Oh, a pilot is here. No, pilot's. I'm not a
That's
pilot.
a great. And again,
It's really
Lord
funny.
and Miller are very. 21 Jump Street, Cloud of the Chance of Meatballs, even Spider Verse has great comedic.
Oh, they're
beats.
so funny. Lord
And-
Miller is so funny.
They're so good in this in terms of there is humor,
Yes,
but it never turns into
The
a
balance.
comedy.
it's not a goofball.
Yeah, and even though there are goofy, silly moments, it's still the stakes feel real.
And
Yes.
I think you have to lay a lot at that. Obviously, it's very well written. Drew Goddard wrote it. He adapted.
Oh, I just saw
Andy
him
Weir's
as a
book.
producer. I didn't realize that he was
Yeah,
a
he
writer
wrote
as
it.
well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Drew Goddard, obviously very talented writer. He just got The Matrix 5. We'll see what he does with
God.
that. Directing it. He's gonna.
Okay.
Oh, man, let it go.
Yeah, let that go.
Don't.
It's
never
so
going to.
It's wild. That guy. So he was a Joss Whedon guy,
But you and then J.J. Abrams guy.
and then he was given the keys to the kingdom for Marvel's Netflix stuff, and he directed or wrote the first half of the first season of Daredevil.
Yeah.
He did
Was
some
there
work
a
on
writer's
Daredevil,
strike or
and then
something?
he left
Why
and went
did he
to
leave it?
because
Yeah.
Sony offered him the Sinister Six, and he left.
Because I remember how good Daredevil was, and he was a showrunner.
is
Well, at the
Still
time,
is.
I didn't know.
it is still great.
It is good,
Yeah.
but I remember it was really good, and I'm like, why is he leaving it so good? Don't.
And then he went to do the Sinister Six,
Oh,
and
God, and then never
here's
happened.
Sony is like, what? Do we give him a pay or play deal? I don't know.
But anyway, he does a great job with this.
I think he's very
so the
good.
writing's good, but
Cabin in the Woods is one of my
Cabin in the Woods is great.
It's great.
So, but this lays, I think, at Gosling's feet, because if you have an actor that performs the material wrong, if he overstates it, if he doesn't underdeliver, right? The way he delivers this performance makes or breaks the movie. It could be too silly, or it could be too boring, or you just don't care. And so, I think this is the Ryan Gosling show. He nails this.
Yeah.
And it's just that makes the difference.
I know Ryan Gosling is already a movie star,
Yeah.
but I definitely think this film levels him up.
Yep, I
Yeah.
100% agree with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I think this pushes him to a level.
Because he doesn't open a movie. He's
Right.
been in good movies.
Correct.
He's been in big movies.
Yeah.
But I told Blake this because he was a little mad about the marketing. And, I don't watch trailers. I hate they give
What was the
everything away.
marketing?
They're like, they put Rocky all over the marketing. He's like, when you
Oh,
read the
man,
book,
then I'm really glad
when
I
you
didn't
read
see
the book,
anything.
you have no idea he's going to meet an alien,
Right.
or that it's going to be this rock creature or whatever. And the marketing is him and Rocky. But I told him, I'm like, one, people aren't going to the movies like they used to.
Yeah.
True.
And Ryan Gosling doesn't open a movie. Tell me what the big box office that he headlined
I
is.
mean, we saw what happened with the stunt movie,
Yeah.
Fall Guy.
Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like that was great.
Right.
Yeah. He has
That
good
movie
performance.
was great.
He's good in everything,
It-
but he just doesn't open a movie.
That movie should have been huge because it was an action movie and a really good rom-com.
Yep.
Like it
Yep.
was the
Yep.
perfect date movie, and I it should have launched a franchise.
It's the same argument for Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Yeah.
Zack and Miri Make a Porno should have been the movie that put Kevin Smith as an A-list.
That movie's great.
Nice Guys should have 4
Nice
sequels
Guys,
by now.
my God,
That's
that
what I'm saying,
movie
but
is so
That
good.
should have made him a massive star. Should have made $1 trillion. Didn't. It's like, for whatever reason, Ryan Gosling has not been able to. Open a movie.
So do you think that's Ryan Gosling, or do you think that is? I'm saying
people aren't showing up for him.
but are people showing up for anyone?
yes,
Who? If you say, hey, this is the new
Tom
blank.
Cruise Mission Impossible. I
Okay,
mean, I know
but-
the last one didn't.
But I think what Joe's asking.
Yeah.
Allow me to translate.
Oh,
Joe.
Yeah, please.
I'm the
yeah,
Joe
please.
Yes,
whisperer.
yes.
Thank you.
Let's do this. This will be interesting.
Is there a current new person that's not 60 that is an A-list movie star that can open a movie?
If you say, hey, this is blank's new flick, people are going to show. There isn't one.
There isn't one.
I was thinking like the Marty Supreme thing before his ballet comments. I was thinking Timothée Chalamet, because who goes to show up to watch a movie about ping pong? And he does the press tour. He has a fandom. People showed up.
I could
for
see
a
that
movie that is about
argument.
ping pong. So I was thinking Dune. Dune's really popular, and he is the
Is
lead
it?
of that. Yeah, I mean
they're making a third one, so
I guess that's
something.
true.
So-
but every Marty Supreme is a good example. I tend to think it's kind of. I don't know that it cements that,
Yeah.
but most things, it's a quote unquote movie star in a firmly established
Yeah.
IP.
Here's
Yeah.
the new Superman movie.
Right? It's
Here's
like I'll
the
go see a
new
Tom Holland movie
sure.
when he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, no one
You
cares
know?
about Cherry.
Yeah.
Here's a prime example. Chris Evans is a great example. Chris
Yeah.
Evans, who was the linchpin of that MCU for a very long time.
Yeah.
As soon as he was done, he broke away, and he's kind of just he did that one with Dakota Johnson.
Yeah.
He did the.
but he doesn't have another franchise. He doesn't hesitate.
It's not about the franchise,
Not
right?
even Robert Downey Jr. has one.
Yeah, but
No.
it's not about the franchise.
He tried
It's
Dr.
about.
Doolittle, and man, that
But
was
again,
not good.
you're talking about an IP. We're saying like, hey, this is the new Chris Evans flick. Hey, this is the new Robert Downey Jr. flick.
Well, that's why we get nothing but remakes and sequels.
I don't disagree.
IPs sell
And
tickets.
even the franchise he doesn't have would have been a reboot.
Yeah. 1,000,000%. Yeah.
But Gosling's been around for long enough. Remember, you said he was made a star in The Notebook.
He was made a star on the Mickey Mouse
No,
Club.
but he was made a star in The Notebook. Rachel McAdams as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's had a long time, and movies were more star driven back then.
I
You
think
had
he was a star in Remember the Titans.
Brad Pitt at that same time could open a movie. People
Yeah.
back 20
Yeah.
years ago. So I'm just saying Ryan Gosling has never had that movie that it's like, oh my God, but like this movie is so good, and it is his movie, right? Like that's the difference, is like it's his movie, it's really that good.
Yeah, because even like Crazy Stupid Love, it's him and Steve
Carell,
Carell,
right?
and
I
and
think
Emma Stone.
and it's more
Right,
Steve
right, right.
Carell.
Yeah.
Like that movie
Yeah.
because of the time.
Have you watched The Rooster?
I've not.
Oh, what's that?
It's his new
I heard
comedy
it's like
on
HBO's Ted
HBO's.
Lasso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Looks interesting.
Okay.
I just haven't, if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know.
no,
I do love Ted Lasso. And it's
Oh.
come back.
believe.
That's right. It's a quote in my email. Like it's my little inspirational quote in my email. Yeah, so he's figuring this all out.
Mine
and
is you're not special.
that is
Yeah.
so good. It's funny, like at work, right? Like everybody's got like JFK or Gandhi or whatever, and mine's like, it's Ted Lasso.
I've never had a quote in my email. I didn't know you were supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to, but like everybody, you get emails. I get emails from people all the time.
I guess I've
And they
seen that, but I've never
all-
thought of. I've never had a quote in an email.
I guess you've never seen one that inspired you enough.
No.
And you know why? It's because Joe has never sent you an email from work.
I'll
That's
send you.
right.
I'll send
I
you.
would
I'll
like
do
to-
it right now. So yeah, so he's on the ship and he realizes he has, he's gotten to a point and he can see the Petrova line from this planet to this other planet, but there's a gap, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And we realize it's a ship. And
This is hilarious. The way the aliens make their appearance, the alien ship, and like it just shows up, and then he's like trying to get away, and it's inching closer and following.
to me that is Lord and Miller
funny.
to a T.
They're
like
like
yes.
compete. It's so freaking. The visual gag of that is
Yes,
just hilarious.
especially in space.
He's like, I'm going to turn this way, and it turns.
And
this
also
way. It's
like how do you work out the timing on a
No
joke like that
idea.
when it's all digital?
Yeah.
Right? Like somebody had to sit there and be like, no, that one needs to be a little faster. That one needs to be a
Yeah.
little slower.
It's
like,
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I think Spider-Verse, them producing Spider-Verse and dealing with animation.
Oh, that's fair.
Probably really helped with the
Yeah,
timing.
Maybe they
No,
should work on that third one.
Yeah, maybe they should stop
Get your together.
rebooting it every year or
And,
whatever they're doing.
you
That was
know,
supposed to be out like 2 years ago
I
or
know.
something. Like out, and it's not coming out for another.
Bella loves those
Yeah,
movies.
they're great.
And she was like, "Hey, remember that time they left us on a cliffhanger
For-
2 years ago?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I was
come
like,
take it easy.
You know nothing about what
you can look at a
cliffhangers are like.
Right.
I'm still waiting for a resolution to the TV show Soap. That was 1982.
Keep waiting.
Yeah, keep waiting.
I'm still
You
waiting
know
for.
what? You never know. Somebody might.
I think like 95% of the cast
I guess
is
that's
dead.
true. Yeah,
So
that's,
I
fair. That's
think,
a good point. That's valid.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for Westworld.
Keep
Thank
waiting,
you,
brother.
Zaslav. I hope Zaslav enjoys his $887 million.
He will.
And he had to
Oh, he
cancel
is.
Westworld
He
in the
is.
last season.
He's gonna love it. He's gonna love it.
Yeah.
That dude. It's I was thinking about
the
this the
things
other
he
day.
took away from us so he could pocket $1 billion.
You know that he's probably hasn't watched.
I would take it all away from you so I could get $1 billion, Kevin.
I would take it all. I would.
mean-
I would make
and
sure.
I would be mad at you.
I would
Yeah.
erase all the seasons of it
Yeah.
from
You would
existence.
knock on their doors and take their
it
DVDs.
I would
back.
take your memory of it.
And
I'm
with
just
that kind
saying,
of money,
though,
I
it's so
can't.
frustrating that guy's going to make out with $1 billion and canceled countless shows. Canceled countless.
Okay, but in fairness, that $1 billion is pre-tax.
That's true.
Oh,
right?
that's he.
So-
Oh, what's
It's
he
a
going to be
valid-
left with?
It's a
Yeah.
valid.
Well, when he pays
Oh, wait.
$0 in
Yeah,
taxes,
he's
it's
gonna
going to
pay
be
$999
Well, that's the trick. You have to get to $1 billion,
Yeah, right.
and then you don't have to pay
Yeah.
taxes
Yeah, so he's
anymore.
gonna pay $999,999,900.
He'll probably find some newfangled credits that he will probably make $1.2 billion after taxes.
He's gonna leave the office with like a copy of Batgirl in his hand.
Yeah.
Be like, hey,
Yeah, he
told
gets to watch
ya."
that
Yeah.
for the rest of his life.
Here's the thing, I think, in my opinion, billionaires are completely detached from any sort of normal reality.
for sure.
Oh,
So, like, if you think Zaslav knew what Westworld season 3 was,
Yeah.
that's adorable.
he said cost, debt.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
He has
balance
no
sheet. Right?
clue.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating.
just a
It's
ledger
like,
column.
It's like telling Mark Zuckerberg, be like, hey, when Zuckerberg's like, here's $1,000 for a gallon of milk. It's like, what?
He'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's,
I'm gonna need $2,000 for those eggs and milk.
Yeah.
Well, the
At
eggs,
this point,
yeah, that's
maybe.
not too far off. But
I think
anyway.
like he has not. Well, that dude is not. There are red lines on a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I know.
You know
It's
what I
just
mean?
so
Like he doesn't know
frustrating.
anything.
To see the amount of money, I mean, clearly he did it right. He made the money that he set out to do, but
You know
he
what,
took so
honestly,
much away.
He had no intention. That Netflix deal was never going to go through.
He made so much extra money.
He had that deal put in there
made
because
like, what, $8 billion
Yeah.
for them just
because he
pocketed it?
knew that
They were
Paramount
never gonna.
no way. So he's going to get paid either way.
Yep.
So he's working. We get introduced to the alien, and they're sending. Again, it's these little bits where, the aliens throw this cartridge out, from their ship to the other ship, and it misses. And then
He's like, how am I going to get that?
and then he's like, "Why is it going so slow?" Like they throw a second one, and he's like, "Why is that going?" Oh, they think I'm dumb. Like, and I was like, "That's a great
it's
line."
great.
So he catches it, and he can't figure out how to open it, and then he realizes as he's fixing his own gravity, like, okay, so every righty tighty, lefty loosey. He's like, but what if? Okay, so if that was wrong,
Well, he says nothing's right. Everything
yes,
they do
everything is wrong.
backwards. But
So
everything's
he's
wrong.
like,
So he's
all right, I'll try this.
lefty tight,
And he pops it open, and then again he immediately breathes in the gas, and he's like, "Oh no! Oh god!" And he starts putting it together. He's like, they send him. It's basically, I think it was
it's like a model. He's
of
sending
him.
like a diorama of the different things, the ship and him.
yeah,
and
and he starts. And again, I think that shows you how he is kind of an idiot when we first meet him on the
he's
spaceship.
probably book smart.
No, I think he's an idiot in general, but like
Oh.
as we realize his brain is starting to catch up.
Oh.
So like he was like, "Oh, that's what this." He's doing the math. He's like, "Why do I know how to do that?" So like his brain is starting to get less foggy as he's working through all this stuff. And finally, this alien ship docks with his ship, and it's like, what is? And I think it's a smart move. We've seen the success of Grogu. We've seen the success of Baba.
Oh yeah, cute cells.
Babu Frick.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Cute cells.
Yeah, the Mogwai.
Always has. Yeah.
So the fact
That's why you have me on the podcast.
that's exactly why. Yeah.
That's why you're on the cover of the Facebook with your bib on.
I'm adorbs.
So I think going out of their way to make an original looking alien and not make him look like Baby Yoda,
Yeah.
but give him this original design, I think is brilliant.
I think it's always brilliant when you can take something like a rock creature that has no eyes or face
yeah.
and make it cute. The way, I mean,
Yeah.
they have pulled off just.
Have you seen the new animatronic Olaf? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
It's
That walks around.
terrifying, but also
Yeah.
adorable.
Oh, it moves around and walks around like as if a snowman,
Yeah.
cartoon snowman came to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's walking around and talking.
But this thing though, let's talk about Rocky, this alien that has been reaching out to him, trying to get him to, interact with him through these different dioramas and stuff. He is a rock with rock arms.
He's like a
there's
spider rock.
Yeah, there's no like definition. There's no his arms. It's not like he doesn't have like fingers made out of rocks and what. I mean, he's just a
He
rock
does,
with like
kind of,
no,
but-
but they're like appendages that are just like stiff, right? But somehow the way it moves, the way it talks with its voice, it's not English, but the way that it uses his language and everything, it's all cute and likable and funny.
Yeah.
They brought this creature to life in a way to where I just don't know how they did it, but it worked so well.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Oscars have already happened. And
I
hooray,
think they're going to do it again.
hooray for horror. Got a little bit of love
Oh
out
yeah,
there today.
I'll
It
tell
was
you
pretty
what,
great.
it is so cool to see Sinners win so many awards.
Weapons.
And weapons.
Yeah. So it was great. I
From
loved
Streets of Fire. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no way something is going to come out this year in this next Oscar cycle that's going to top this.
In what way?
Maybe the Odyssey.
In what way?
Maybe the
This is a big year.
I guess that's true. Maybe the
There's a lot of
Odyssey, but I
movies
just
coming
mean like I know we bitch about Mark Ruffalo's head in Infinity
We
War
do.
because it is so annoying.
It's so egregious.
I just thought you meant his head specifically.
general?
I was like, really? We don't like his head? I mean, I've
like-
never went on a date with him, but I
It's
bet you he'd be good at it.
Well, yeah, he knows how to do it.
He puts his mind to it.
That's correct.
I
Yeah,
got faith in him.
yeah. As long as he doesn't turn into the Hulk while he does it,
Right.
we'll be all right.
I mean, to each his own.
Not to me.
Don't yuck somebody's yum.
I guess that's true. That exists for somebody.
Yeah.
The fact that they're able to make you feel for a rock creature
Yeah.
with no face,
Yes.
and Marvel can't figure out how to make Mark Ruffalo's neck not look like a giraffe.
Maybe they shouldn't have fired him from Star Wars.
Marvel also had a bunch of other things to work on in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't care. You have $1 billion. Fix it.
I still want to see Lord Miller's Solo. I know that
I know.
Ron Howard did a good job, but like
Ron Howard did an
these guys
incredible
don't
job.
miss, and I know that maybe it wasn't Disney's idea of what they were
gotta
thinking.
tell you,
but whatever they were thinking probably was
if
going to
it-
be good because
If it was like this,
they're all.
what are you doing?
They've never
Yeah.
made a bad movie though. They brought
Probably
20.
was this. They just
I do
wasn't.
wonder like how much of that Solo stuff was kind of transferred to this.
I don't think any of it, just because
you,
people
you don't
I
even
know.
even in like practicing of filmmaking.
I mean, maybe the style or technique, but even then, I don't know. I think they would make a movie that looks like a Star Wars movie.
Sure.
So, and from what I understand, people who have read the book have said this is remarkably faithful to the
Okay,
book.
okay.
So I don't
Now the book
think there's
was
any cut and paste
Han
going
Solo
on.
fanfic, so
Right.
I don't know if you. I mean,
That would have been great. This is actually Chewie and Han
yeah,
in space.
See?
So yeah,
Just
he's
makes me more excited for his Star Wars movie after seeing this.
Gosling Star Wars movie.
Yeah, get him back in space.
I mean,
pronto.
look, man, if it's just like
Skywalker
a no, Junior.
I know.
Yeah. I'm bummed that I sold that. If he turns out to be that character, I'm be big mad.
Yeah, well.
because I sold that book.
That's why but you either gotta hold on to all your stuff
You
forever,
never know, Tom.
or you clean it out.
Yeah, it is tough to know. It is tough to know. So they both realize. So they end up calling this alien Rocky. That's what we're gonna because
he looks
it
like a rock.
looks like a
Oh.
rock.
Yeah.
So now they both characters realize they are trying to save each other, like their
trying to
own
solve
plan.
the
They're
same
working
problem.
together.
They're there for the same reason.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
so also we should mention that the space organism that they found that Gosling is consulting on, they're experimenting on, they are able to use that as fuel. This
Yes.
thing absorbs so much energy, like a dropper of it causes an explosion. And so
Which
they're
we find out.
So they're going to use like 2 kilograms or something, or 2 million kilograms is enough to get him 11 light years or whatever away
Correct.
from Earth. So like it's an insane fuel.
That is also a
source.
great line when he starts mapping it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, that's a long way away."
You
Yeah.
made it through the movie without peeing.
I know. Sorry.
But not the podcast.
And this is shorter.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Nah, we'll find out.
Oh yeah, don't speak too soon.
So he has to figure out a way to communicate with Rocky. Obviously, they do not speak the same language, which I think is good.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's sometimes in
You
movies
can't have
like this.
aliens look like humans and speak English randomly. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
one of the
Like,
things that I've always liked about the Green Lantern books
Mm-hmm.
is they say that the ring is a universal translator.
yeah, it's cool when they explain.
So they're just like, yeah, this thing that's on my wrist or my finger,
Yeah.
I can understand anybody.
But a lot of the joy of the movie, like, probably 45 minutes of this movie is Gosling trying to figure out how to communicate with Rocky.
Correct.
And so he has a computer. He's a very smart person. He's good with computers and code and everything. And he basically starts recording lines. And we don't do it justice how funny it is. Like,
It
in
is
an
very
understated
funny.
way. But like the whole trying to figure it out is like him stumbling over how to communicate is very funny.
Yeah.
But he gets a microphone and he points it to him and he starts recording sounds and pointing to things, and he's like, okay, that's what this sound translates to. And he basically builds this whole dictionary, this whole Google translator.
Yeah, basically.
Of when he hears Rocky make his sounds with his language, he can have a computer like voice to text it.
Yeah, I think
like,
it's hilarious that somehow they got Meryl Streep in here for a cup of
that
coffee.
was so funny when he's like trying to go through different voices, and then it actually is Meryl Streep.
He's like, what about Meryl
clearly,
Streep? And
she can
does-
do anything. And again, just the way that Gosling delivers that.
And I
line.
did think it was going, the voice.
I was trying to think, like, do they have a connection to her somehow? But I don't think they do. Does Ryan Gosling? I'm like, did somebody call in a favor, or did they just actually
Probably.
just cold call her and be like, "You want to do this?"
Can you record 3 seconds of dialogue
Yeah.
for us real
Was
quick?
Gosling ever in a movie with her?
I can't think of it.
I mean, no, I don't think so.
But it's like a free ad for Meryl Streep, though.
Yeah, I
like,
think she's doing okay.
Yeah,
He just
she's
do
got the
it,
Devil
yeah.
Wears Prada coming out this year.
Yeah.
So, which I didn't realize everybody was back.
yeah.
I think no.
Except for Adrian Grenier,
yeah.
Who's that?
the boyfriend in the movie. Oh, Entourage,
I've never seen it.
The main character of Entourage.
Oh,
He's her love interest.
did
in
he
the
get
movie.
in trouble?
No, they just didn't. I
Oh,
guess
you're like,
that.
nah, this guy.
Yeah. I think the end of the movie ends up with them together, if I remember.
Oh,
Or maybe were they broken? I can't remember.
no,
It's been a long
I
time.
saw a trailer
It's
and I
been
was
a
like,
while.
oh,
It's a good movie,
there's
though.
Emily
But
Blunt and
they did
Stanley
not ask him
Tucci
back,
and
and his fifis were hurt.
oh, were they really?
I'm sure he wanted to come
Oh,
get a
I'm sure-
paycheck.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I need a paycheck, please.
Yeah.
Those the Entourage.
I don't know what
checks are
Entourage
dried up.
residuals. I mean, maybe it.
Does anybody watch that?
I don't know. I don't know that it gets.
I
played
don't think that
anymore.
show's very good.
I never watched it.
I thought
It always looked too
too
bro-y
bro-y.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he figures out the language. Now they're able to talk. And before we even get to figuring out how to fix this, you're building this relationship between Rocky and Grace,
You
who
really
is Ryan
care
Gosling.
about their chemistry. Ryan
It's
Gosling
wild.
and Rock Alien. It's just
Yeah.
like
Which again goes back to how good Gosling is in this, because there is no there
yeah.
It's just him.
in their chemistry.
Right.
It's just him.
It has
Do you think they're playing his dialogue? They must be playing
God, I
Rocky's
think they almost
dialogue
have to be
over and letting Gosling kind of just react to it.
I can't imagine they're doing it another way, but never say never.
That's even more talented. I mean, if it wasn't written in a way, if Gosling really is riffing and they're like filling it in,
There's no way.
then he
I'm not
is
saying that it's
one of
not
the.
that it's not possible,
But
but
that's incredible if he in his head could create that and it turned out this well. I don't know.
I mean, he did date a mannequin.
Maybe Drew Goddard, but maybe Drew Goddard did write like in English, like the Rocky script, and he reacted to
Yeah, maybe.
what it would be saying. I don't
Yeah.
know, but it's great. But so in the flashbacks, we're starting to uncover that things are not going quite as they planned. The whole team that Gosling is just like doing equations and trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
There's a team of astronauts going on this mission.
Yeah, there's 3.
Well, 2 of them, the engineers blow themselves up.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Because of the fuel, they didn't get it right. They accidentally, instead of like a gram, did a kilogram or something.
He was like,
which
"That's
is-
way too much."
Like 1 dropper is an explosion. So think about 1,000 droppers at
Right.
once. Boom! They blow the whole team up. And so basically, they come to Gosling and they're like, "You're the only one that knows how to
He
do
was
this."
like,
and he's
"No."
like, and it's just so funny. He names the school. He's like, "I'm a teacher at whatever middle school,"
Right.
And, and he's like, "What?" And then so he's like, "No, I'm not doing it." And essentially, they chase him down.
They don't
And
essentially.
they
They chase
abduct
him.
him.
Yeah,
They do.
They,
Yeah. This
they
government
knock him
agency-
out. They
also, how funny was that scene of him like going to the hardware store and then
I think it's
bowling and
great.
stuff?
Like him and Cliff or whatever his name was.
what was it?
Carl.
Carl. Him and Carl, like, Carl's this like stone-faced like agent that's
He's
just very by
stone-faced
the books.
until he meets Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, and
then he's not
Gosling's
anymore.
like, do we have an expense account? And he's like, nope.
No.
He goes, I do. And they go to the hardware store and they, whatever,
Yeah, I do like that where
buy
they figure out.
Twizzlers and Skittles and whatever product placement. It's all in this
They
one.
figure out Bud Light is there. But
Aluminum
like
foil,
lots of
wrap or
Reynolds
something.
wrap. Yeah.
But it's just so funny that again in this serious world-ending. movie.
Ryan Reynolds, he can open a movie.
See?
Yeah,
There you go.
probably.
Yeah.
Can he or can Deadpool?
No,
Oh,
Ryan
he can
Reynolds.
free guy.
That's fair.
He's become
Yeah,
his
yeah,
own.
yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
The Project Almanac should have been in. No, not that one.
No,
No. Project Adam.
Adam Project.
that was great.
That was great. Should have been in theaters. Should have been in theaters.
Different time.
It was that COVID?
It's like right
Like
at the tail end of
COVID,
it.
tail end
yeah.
of it? Okay. So they realize that when they figure out that like some other gas that is what these things are attracted to. So they figure out, like, they go into a room, they turn the lights off, they use this infrared thing, and then he's looking at them in a petri dish, and as soon as he hits it with this ultraviolet light, they zip off to the side, and he's like, whoop, I lost them. And the guy's like, what do you mean you lost them? He's like, I have no idea where they are. He's like, we'll just put this small box into a bigger box. And they figure out
Carbon dioxide. They find out, and it's so funny the way these like we're parents.
Yeah, they're me reproducing.
So basically the leader gives him 3 organisms,
Correct.
3 of these alien microbes, and so they lose them. Oh my god, he has to go in there. They're taping up the windows and everything.
Complete darkness.
And he's like, I found it. He's like, oh, we've got a problem. What's the problem? I just found a 4th one.
Yeah.
So he is the one that discovers that the carbon dioxide allows them to breathe, and that's what they're trying to go do at Venus or whatever. Why they're heading to
because
stars.
carbon dioxide is.
It lets.
I think that's
carbon
the
dioxide off, I
atmosphere of
guess.
Venus is carbon dioxide.
And that's also they get enough because they use them as a fuel source.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so they find out they can make these things reproduce.
And I love the
Infinitely.
fact that the problem was the solution,
Yeah.
right? Because it was
Yep.
like, how are we going to get enough fuel to get there? And it turns out the thing causing the problem was the fuel to get them there. I love that.
Yes,
And
that is.
this thing's called Astrophage is what they name it.
Yes. So Rocky and Grace, who is Ryan Gosling, they just start working the problem. They start figuring it out. Then they realize that there is a gas. The reason that this planet has not been affected is there is a gas on this planet that is basically when he said predator, and I was like, oh no, we're going to have spooky aliens, and that's not what I want in this movie at all. But basically there are microorganisms on this other planet that is killing the astrophage, and that's why they're unaffected. So if we can get particles of the gas on this other planet, which they end up calling Adrian and Rocky, we can take
what?
the other
They
planet.
call the planet Adrian.
I thought that was his wife.
It is.
It is, but
and
that's
they
what they named
named
the
the planet
planet.
after his
Oh,
wife.
got
he
it.
was
Okay,
like,
okay.
on Earth, we named the planet.
When you
we
find
named
it.
things after things that we love or
Yeah.
find important. He's
Yeah.
like, what's your wife? He's like, what's your wife's name?
gives
And he's
like
like,
a-
we're gonna.
We don't
translate
have
that.
a word for that. He says some big
Yeah.
long sound. He's like, Adrian.
Which
was really cute. I
Yeah,
like that.
of course. And then I think it's funny when Rocky does a Rocky voice
Yeah.
at one point. So they get this gas from this planet, and they realize and that's a big old harrowing thing where Gosling has to go out
Really
and
intense.
spacewalk.
I mean,
it is very
the
intense.
action
Obviously,
sequences.
you in your heart of hearts know
He's
that Gosling
probably
is
not,
going to survive.
The one
but
person in this movie probably isn't dying
Yeah.
off halfway through.
you hope not.
But it's really intense. So every time he does a spacewalk, even from the moment he tries to get the first canister that Rocky
'cause he has
throws
no idea
at
what
him,
he's doing.
Right, he's getting wrapped up and falling and everything. But yeah, this mission to go get the organisms from the atmosphere of
Yeah,
the
this
planet.
little ball. They go fishing.
Yeah, I go, oh my gosh, the thing about like you would need like 4,000 miles of net away. You can
like
do
this?
that? Rocky's just making chains. Like, so Rocky's thing, his alien, like his specialty is he can craft metal objects like insanely quick and detailed. That's how he makes all the little dioramas of the
Correct.
ship and everything. He's
Correct.
very talented. So he makes this huge chain. He's like, okay, well, let's go fishing.
Yeah,
He's got a future on Etsy.
He does.
He does? Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. He's like,
The
we need
store would
something
be-
this large. He's like, you mean like this?
Yeah.
He's like, Yes, just like that. So they
But
get
it's an intense scene. It's really cool. of them,
Very
like,
much so.
Going down, but like they can't get pulled into that orbit or whatever because they'll end up crash landing. Like they have to stay kind of at
the thing that they are following is technically tearing the ship apart.
Yeah.
So they have to get in and get out.
Well, his ship's not meant to enter
Correct.
like the atmosphere of this
Yes.
planet. It's going to get torn apart. It's like a research thing that's supposed to be floating around space,
Right.
not going through.
Not doing like
Not
space
at speed, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
even when a space shuttle re-enters the Earth's atmosphere, it burns up, right? And then like they land in the water.
there's
it's
all
like-
kinds of shields and stuff that
right.
keep it.
So like
yeah.
his thing is definitely not made to do that.
No. So they get the piece of the ship, and we should say that like both of them have Rocky can't be in Earth's atmosphere.
Right.
Like we don't know, they don't say what it is, but his body cannot acclimate.
It's too hot. He says that his
No, I
ship
think his is too. Rocky's is too hot.
Well, Ryan Gosling's a human. We know his isn't too hot.
I think it's like it's not hot enough.
Yeah.
For The Rock, maybe. I forget.
There's something
Yeah,
in
no,
the,
Rocky's is too hot. His atmosphere is super hot. He would
Yes.
burn up, right? That's why Ryan Gosling has to wear the protection. ball
correct,
to go
and then
into his-
it's
yeah.
vice versa. There's something in our atmosphere that would
Yeah.
kill Rocky. So he's just rolling around in this ball like a little hamster ball.
Yeah. Super fun.
Which is very funny. This is the whole scene where Gosling's trying to do like a video diary, and he's like, I can't say anything. Like he can hear.
everything. His hearing's amazing.
He's
And
like,
then
I can hear
and
you.
You hear the voice, like the text-to-speech translator voice. He's like, what are you saying?
What are you saying?
Who are you talking to? I want to talk to your friends. He's like, I'm not talking to them. I'm recording a video.
Right.
Very funny.
And I like the line where they basically, I think they've got the gas. They figure out that like, yep, this thing will kill it. This is a one-way trip for me, and I've accepted this. And Rocky's like, what do you mean it's a one-way trip for you? Like, you didn't tell me that from the beginning. He's like, well, I didn't. So he's like, I don't have anything to go home to. Like, I blah, blah. And Rocky goes, how much do you need to get back home? And he was like, well, I need this. And he was like,
200
whatever it is.
kilograms.
He's like, okay.
He goes, I will get home
6 years later.
It's like 6 years
slower.
later,
Okay,
yeah.
And
But
Gosling,
their life cycle is a lot longer too.
Yes.
So
He says he's been
he's like
167
167 or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, he's like, that's old.
Yeah.
And
and
Gosling,
Gosling breaks down and crying and doesn't Rocky say something like, you said you came to terms with it?
it's like, yeah, it's just something
That's
you
what
say.
everyone says. Yeah.
So they figure it out. They are on their way, and they
So they get the organism from this atmosphere,
Yep.
and they almost don't make it. But one of the fuel tanks
two of
gets
them gets
breached.
Yeah,
like,
and they pull the
and
fuel
so they have
tanks
to,
and
launch them.
and then as they're trying to get out of there, Gosling's in his chair, and then all hell breaks loose, and he
And
gets
that's
his
good callback where he's like, pilot's here, pilot's in the seat.
right. But he ends up getting his face smashed, and he can't fix. He's stuck in this thing because the ship is getting not torn apart, but it's turbulent.
I think the ship is spinning because one of the fuel things got launched, and then it was like off
Oh, maybe.
kilter, and so it was spinning super fast.
Yeah.
But he's like basically knocked out.
Right.
He can't reach the thing to detach the second one, and so Rocky realizes that his friend is dying, and the whole mission hinges on this and both their lives.
So
he gets out of his hamster ball.
Correct. And he immediately starts to burn.
Yeah.
And he unleashes it, and then Gosling is taken to the med bay, and then he wakes up, but then we see like
trail
of
of
like
Rocky.
ash, and we finally get to Rocky, and he says something to him, and Gosling kind of does whatever he can do to save.
Rocky doesn't say anything at that point.
He
He's
doesn't make a
passed
move
out.
or something.
He's pretty dead at that point. I'm almost positive he's like
Okay.
donezo.
So Gosling kind of puts
Gosling's
him
like, we did it, and I'm making all the stuff for your planet, but you got to wake up because I don't know how to deliver your half. And
right,
and so he's like taking care of him and reading to him and like just talking.
giving him like heat
He
lamps.
watches
and,
him because in the movie there's that sweet moment where he's
But
like,
you in their world, there's predators, and someone needs to watch you sleep.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
which is funny. He's like, you're gonna watch me sleep. He's like, we don't do that. That's creepy.
but he doesn't really. He puts his butt on him.
Well, he like looks when Gosling's out of it, Rocky's like in the glass above him, and it's like the bottom of him over him. And he's like, this is not a great. I'm just gonna turn. I'm a side sleeper anyway.
And when we find out how Rocky eats,
Yeah.
which is also a very funny scene where Gosling's like, "Oh my god!"
He's like takes it and shoves it in that whatever
Yeah.
that hole is, and he's like, oh god. But it's funny. He's like, I'll watch you sleep as long as you need. Like, it's a very sweet moment when he turns it around. He's like, I'm not leaving your side. I'm going to take care of you. And then
while all that's going on, though, we realize that the way they can transport it is this one random thing that Rocky had made is the piece that like will keep these things safe or whatever. And then that's how we can transport it back. So as Gosling is sleeping next to Rocky, we hear a little tap, and then Rocky comes rolling around, and he's okay.
He's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, that's kind of
Did
what
his
it
sleep,
is.
He regenerated.
Yeah, he's good to go. So they part ways.
Yeah.
They go their separate ways, and Journey song does not play in this, unfortunately. It's
You
a
do
great
get a
song.
Beatles song.
You do get a Beatles song.
That ain't cheap.
Which is like, I heard that and I was like, well,
Yeah.
there's
That's
your
why
music
the movie's
budget.
$250 million budget.
I feel like that's reasonable for a movie like this.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think it's an I mean, it is a crazy budget, but
It's a big budget.
yeah,
Especially for not a Marvel
That's
movie
true.
or
And it's kind of a chamber piece.
yeah.
You know what I
And-
mean?
and it's not a movie that can really launch a franchise.
No.
So
no, you get one.
you're not really spending this money so you can make 5 more.
Oh, you know
That's
what?
true.
This is Amazon though. They got the
It
money.
is Amazon.
That's where you.
That's
you know,
true.
Why Prime went up.
Seriously,
jerks.
seriously though. But you know what? That's the thing. They've got the money and they want an Oscar. They want to make a movie that's going to
Yeah.
do something. So this is their chance. So they know if they throw the money, get Lord and Miller, who are great. And
It is funny how some of these organizations where you're just kind of, you know, I don't know what Warner Brothers is going to be in 5 years. I don't know what
neither
kind
do
of
they.
No.
I don't know what kind of movies they're going to be making. So it is interesting to see these big companies like Apple or Amazon do movies that are not politically tinged at all.
right.
You know, like I don't know what, like I said, Paramount even on TV.
I think the best we can hope for is apolitical. You know what I
Like,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
even
they
if
want
you
to make
wanna
money.
do,
That's the thing is that
Yeah.
if they're smart, it's not saying you can't make a movie with a statement or to make a point. Those movies don't usually make a lot of money.
Look at The Bride.
If they're smart, they'll make a crowd pleaser.
yeah,
You know, right? Like for big budget movies.
Sure,
For
sure, sure.
Smaller
Yeah.
movies, you can take a risk, but for big movies, you don't need to make Mission Impossible political.
No.
I mean, I know there's government sabotage and intrigue, but
That's
that
a little-
movie,
that's
that
different
movie was not
than-
saying the right did
No,
this or the
no,
right did
that's
that.
just
It's
government
That's
sabotage.
just your
Yeah.
basic, whatever.
shadow government.
Right, right.
Spooky, blah blah blah. So like I said, I don't know where movies are going to be in 5 years, but I do appreciate that Amazon and Apple are at least saying like we're just going to make movies,
Yeah.
and that's just
Yeah.
what it's going to
Well,
be.
and again, they want awards. They want to be taken seriously, right? Because Amazon and Apple aren't Warner Brothers or Paramount yet, right? They
Right.
don't have their Oscar movies.
Right,
but
right.
F1 won an Oscar. That's Apple.
It did.
Right?
It did.
So, I mean, they're getting there, right? And Netflix has won a lot of Oscars, and that's a streaming platform that used to rent DVDs out. Now
Yeah.
they've won Oscars. So Amazon needs theirs, and this very possibly could win multiple Oscars.
I think it probably
It's early in the
should
year,
be.
but
It is early.
It should, but
Sinners came out. in
Sinners
March.
came out
Yeah.
around this time.
So
yeah.
you never know.
Very
So he's
true.
traveling back to Earth.
Yes, and he realized there's an alarm goes off right before. I think
he's
either
like
he's
put in
out
a coma again or
or
whatever.
Yeah.
He's like sleeping.
Hypersleep or
Yes.
whatever.
Is it several years, 3 years to get home now?
something like that.
Yeah.
I think.
And we find out that the organism
organism.
that they pulled from this planet has gotten
It's
loose,
evolving. It's figured
Yeah.
out how to get out of this,
and it
thing.
knows where the astrophage is, which
And
is what it
starts to
wants.
eat it. Yeah.
So now we're running out of fuel. Ryan Gosling freaks out. He realizes he's got to like wrap these things up in plastic and seal them up. And as he's like, all right, I got it all set. And then he realizes
that Rocky's having the same problem.
and he's not going to know.
Yeah.
Like he's going to have, because like we find out that Rocky's crew died of like radiation poisoning and they don't really know what happened there. So he realizes he has to make a choice. He's like, I can either take this the rest of the way and let Rocky and his world die, or I can send this off to Earth.
Which was the original plan.
Correct.
He was
Yeah.
never going to have enough of this astrophage to do a two-way trip.
Right.
So he was supposed to send this off and die somewhere out in space. Rocky allowed him to get home, but now that there's this problem, he
Right.
doesn't have enough to do both.
Correct. He can either go home and save
Yeah.
his planet, or he can.
Well, he can save his planet. He can either go home or save Rocky.
Sure.
He's going to
Sure,
save
sure,
the planet. That was the original.
he can
goal.
save Earth no matter what. We should specify the
Yeah.
planet
Yeah,
because there's
Earth.
two.
Yeah.
He can save Earth no matter what. But if he goes home, if Ryan Gosling goes back to Earth, Rocky's planet will die.
Will die. So he crafts these probes that were already there to be made. He shoots the info and all the tapes back to Earth.
So people can see there's this alien and there's a relationship.
And then he turns his ship around and goes after Rocky. And he ends up catching up to Rocky. And he gets into the spaceship, knocks on the little glass part, and Rocky comes like scurrying and looks totally fine. Like looks like maybe he hasn't had the issue yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed okay. But,
yeah, everything, and the ship seemed fine. So, and
maybe
that's
it hadn't happened yet for him, but it was gonna happen.
Yeah. And then that's where the first ending is like them kind of reuniting.
And you see the videos back home. They're watching the U.S.
So, am I to understand that so they're on this boat in the middle of like what I thought was an ocean.
I thought so.
So. The Earth is cooled to the point, like enough time has passed where the Earth is cooled to a point where we are getting close to catastrophic whatever.
Oh, I didn't take it.
Like, are they on a boat? Are they on a boat in the Pacific, or are they on a boat in the Arctic?
Oh, I just figured they were still on the boat. Like the boat, they were doing research at sea, so they didn't like blow themselves up.
So like where's the Earth at that point?
Oh, I don't know.
I think the Earth is having issues. I don't know that the fact that they're in the ocean is a sign of that.
It's a frozen ocean. It's snowing.
Okay. Yeah, it could have just been the Arctic.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Because I think the way I took it was that he saved the day. Like I don't think Earth got to the catastrophic point yet.
Sure.
It was just my idea. Like Ryan Gosling didn't appear to have aged that much. They had 30 years.
Yeah, because they said 30 years.
Oh, sure.
Until like the tipping point, but you would definitely see things starting to change.
Right.
But that I took it. It's probably been like 6 years. Maybe.
Okay.
Because if it would take 3 years to get home, I'm guessing it probably took him 3 years to get out to
there.
space, and then some other time has passed. So it's probably been
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so out of 30, so I think they're good.
Okay.
But she's watching the videos and it's cute. You see Rocky and doing his little dance and everything. The dance thing is cute too. The way Ryan Gosling doesn't know how to interact with this thing, so he starts dancing and it's mimicking him. Rocky is mimicking every movement that he does.
Right.
And so when he says goodbye to him, he turns and like he does the dance.
Does a little dance.
And Rocky repeats it.
Right.
It's super cute.
So then Gosling wakes up, and I was like, well, where is he now?
Because
this
goes
doesn't
to black
look.
and he wakes up and it's a beach.
Well, it doesn't even
Right?
look like I thought initially. Okay, he's just still on the ship, and this is the hologram
you're supposed
room.
to think it's the hall. Yes, you're supposed to think he's on the beach because him and Rocky, as he's trying to explain to Rocky Earth, he takes him to a beach. He shows him all these different things.
Right.
And so he wakes up, but then it pans out and he's on a beach.
He's on a beach.
Yeah.
And we find out that he's in like a biodome.
He has a nice house. He's in a really nice.
He's
house.
got his robots.
They built a little terrarium. for him.
Gypsy is there with him.
Yeah.
So he kind of, Rocky he's not like knocking on the door, and he rolls out, and we kind of find out that he has gone to Rocky's planet.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting.
He didn't have people to get back. Doesn't mean he couldn't go with Rocky.
Correct.
Yeah. So they built a little place to keep him.
Right.
And he's
little biodome, and he's
teaching young rocks.
Little rocks about physics and stuff like that.
And I like that. Like they're obviously, if you look at their spaceship, they're a much more advanced civilization
Yes.
with the way that this thing moves and morphs and whatever. And so they're like, "Hey, our scientists have prepared your ship," and he's like, I think I'll stick around.
He's like,
I'm
can I
good for a little
think? Can I
while."
think about it?
Yeah, and Ryan's like, take a long time.
Yeah,
take as long.
right.
But like, I'm like, you made the right choice, dude. Who wouldn't want to live with this amazing species that can create all
But
this
it's also
stuff
like
and-
he didn't have anything
know.
here.
Can't fuck the rock.
Can't rock.
Oh, I guess there is that part.
Yeah. That
I
is a
wasn't thinking
problem.
like that.
It would
But
hurt.
but you're right. The thing is he doesn't have a family. It's not like and then Rocky, who they saved each other's lives, they've become his family, and now he can teach these
Little
rocks
rocks.
about
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I think this is incredible.
Pet rocks.
great.
Pet rocks.
Yeah.
Pet rock, yeah.
Yeah, this movie is great.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of fun. My only concern is I think that the reviews are so glowing. Some people are probably going to walk in expecting something that it can't live up to. But I walked in with zero expectation, and I had a blast.
I wonder if this time frame of the year is going to become
Now the new like big Oscar.
like, hey, look,
crowd
Sinners
pleaser.
came out at
Yeah.
this time.
and
this
the same
one
way
comes
for
out
a while in January, we always got that military movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I wonder if studios are going to be like, let's put this thing
I mean,
that we.
especially if it works twice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This movie has a
Because
nice.
normally people are like, it's too far away. People will forget it,
Right.
Which is funny because this is also when Lego Movie came out, and it didn't even get nominated for Best Animated,
Which is
film.
wild.
so dumb. 'Cause
Which
that
is
movie's so good.
Which that was
Also
easily
Lord
the best
Miller,
animated
right?
movie. Yes.
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah. So, yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
But this is great.
This is great.
This is great.
Absolutely worth your time.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for this one. Let's go around the table and everyone can say where to find them.
This is Joe. You can follow me on the Twitter at JoeyButts, BUTTS21, and all the other socials at the same.
This is Kevin. Follow me on Twitter at KevinRBrackett.
And this is Tom. Follow me on Blue Sky and Threads at Tom O'Keefe Jr. or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. Find the show online at facebook.com/Real Spoilers. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and of course, don't forget our Patreon. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, New Sam reboots Gertie.
Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already